what have you learned from the experience of preparing for something like this? How has the Science Center itself and the staff changed?
Well, I think the unexpected piece of this for me as the executive of the Science Center has been the sense of reaffirmation that our team has, not only from having other practitioners in our field say wonderful things about our work and our institution, but about having exposure to so many other people who do what we do and care about what we care about, so that I think they've started to see themselves as part of a greater whole and a bigger community that acts together. And I think that that has also been very affirming for them and motivating for them. And I think a special kind of moment that you don't get unless you're able to gather, as Aztec facilitates for us, together with other people from the field at this scale.
So given that you've got that renewed sense of being part of a greater whole, have you guys got sort of a big, hairy, audacious goal for the Science Center that you're aiming for over the next 5 years, say?
There's been a lot of discussion about that here at the conference, and a lot of it seems to be gravitating to the idea of our meaning in our communities, not only as drivers of science awareness and science education, but also of a conversation. And the culture in our communities, the ethos, the way in which we have conversations. And it's no secret that in this moment in our times at a macro level, that's a concern. And science centers pride themselves on facilitating and fostering dialogue and asking questions that are penetrating, sometimes inconvenient, but lead to the idea that ultimately we're going to look at our world, at each other, with a respect for reality and a regard for what facts tell us. And I think that for us, as we look forward towards a big, hairy, audacious goal for the Connecticut Science Center, it's certainly about playing that role, but it's also very much about playing a deliberate role with regard to the opportunities that our community is providing from an economic perspective, whether that is for a child from a city to have a truly attainable job in a STEM career that's going wanting for talent right now, and puts us right in the middle of that with really, I think, the responsibility and obligation to try to make those connections. So it's about citizens who are not only more informed globally and more equipped, better equipped to have real conversations and draw real conclusions about the world around them and their role in it, but also to be better prepared to actually participate that in a way that's economically beneficial for them and therefore their families and their communities.
Now you mentioned that Aztec is facilitating that conversation and engendering that conversation in the conference. How do you see Aztec going forward being helpful around having you achieve that goal and other science centers achieve that goal?
Well, I think it's important to share these questions, which can be very big questions, with others who turn out to be asking themselves the same questions, and to share the conclusions that we might be gravitating towards individually, so that together we can refine them and become smarter about how to respond to those. I think, every time you turn around at a conference like this, you find somebody who's doing something brilliant or frustrated by a similar challenge. And putting our heads together, particularly with the different perspectives we tend to have in different communities, which after all are very unique and therefore make our institutions unique, is very beneficial to that kind of thinking.
Right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.